Hello everybody, welcome to the Redmen TV. My name is Ben Kelly. It's good to see all of your smiling faces. This is the Liverpool Development Watch. Let's just get right into it. We're going to start with the loans. It's not been the greatest week, truth be told. However, we're going to start with the highlights. We're going to start with the performance that perhaps attracted the most attention on the internet this week, and that was Naby Keita in the Europa League on Thursday. We're going to start with him. His stats were ridiculous. I watched most of this game because obviously all the Europa League games are broadcasted on BT, so I had the opportunity to watch it. And his stats, like I say, were ridiculous, as well as him just overall running the game. But I'll run you through them right now. He had 89 touches of the ball, 21 recoveries, 34 passes completed out of 62, 5 interceptions, 4 out of 4 dribbles completed, 3 out of 4 long balls completed, 2 out of 5 shots on target, and 1 key pass. Like I say, for one game, that is a hell of a lot to fit in. What a game he had. Obviously, Leipzig running out of that game 3-1 winners. It's a good result, really. 3 away goals to take into the second leg at home should see them going through. And it's actually quite a big result because obviously Napoli are top of Serie A. They're playing very well. They've had Champions League football this season. They gave Manchester City a game in October because they were in Manchester City's group. And overall, a very, very good team to beat. So Leipzig should be proud of themselves. And so should Naby Keita for running that game because he really was everywhere. Really excited about him. So overall, the question that is prompted from this performance is just how well is Naby Keita doing in Leipzig at the moment? Is he really living up to the hype? We paid 48 million for him. He's coming in the summer. We're all really excited because in just 131 days, Naby Keita will be pulling on a Liverpool FC shirt, and that's really, really exciting. There's your Keita countdown for this week, everybody. But how is Keita doing this season? Is he living up to the hype? Well, let's have a look. Here's an update on his overall stats for the season. He's made 25 appearances in total. He's got 7 goals, 2 assists, 34 chances created, 32 key passes, 83% pass completion rate, 46 total shots with a 52.6 accuracy, and overall, that's pretty damn good, if you ask me. That's £48 million worth of money, if you want my opinion on it. Yeah, I mean, imagine adding those sort of stats into our midfield in terms of, you know, nothing against Jordan Henderson. Everybody who watches this show on a regular basis knows that I'm a fan of Jordan Henderson, but they just shit all over his stats, I think. You have to ask, what do they tell us? Well, they tell us he's good on the ball if he's got an 83 pass completion rate, but also he's smart on the ball. Because if you look at the 2 stats in the middle there, 34 chances created and 32 key passes in 25 appearances, that is mental. That is so, so good. That is such a good return for the amount of appearances that he put in. And I think, Jesus Christ, if we can add that into our team, that adds a whole new dimension for me. Because let's be honest, I was chatting with a friend the other day who's a Manchester City fan, and to be honest, I did concede our midfield is a little bit shite. Overall, I mean, Emre Can's a good player on his day, but overall, we're lacking options, I feel. Maybe when Adam Lallana comes back and is properly fit, that will add a new sense of breath of fresh air into the whole mix of things. I don't want to say he's like a new signing because I know that's a phrase that everybody hates, but he might be a little bit in terms of just coming in and adding a lot more energy. But Naby Keita seems to be doing the job, and if he can adapt what he's doing right now in the competitions that he's involved in the Premier League and the FA Cup and the Champions League for us, then that is going to just add a whole brand new dimension to our midfield and team in general. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There is your update on Naby Keita. I'll probably bring you something like this every few weeks, just you know, a bit more in detail about how he's doing, because I do think he's such a good player. It's worth bringing you a bit more up to date on him every now and then. But we'll move on now to another central midfielder who's had another successful week, and that is Marco Grujic. He was one of Cardiff's better players. They beat Middlesbrough 1-0 in a dull home game on Saturday afternoon. He's been branded as very good. He's getting a lot of plaudits by the media, by his teammates, by his manager. He controls the game. He's playing in the centre of midfield. He's playing more of the deep defensive role, and he's pulling the strings. People are very, very happy with him. He's been described as a real linchpin in the middle of midfield. A linchpin, I like that word. In the game against Middlesbrough, he had a lot of the ball, and he's moving it very well, and it just looks as if he's really starting to come into his own now. He's probably gaining a little bit of confidence, knowing that he's pretty much a guaranteed starter at the moment for Neil Warnock's side, and I think, well, if we can keep him going, and also we're bringing Naby Keita into the side next season, they're quite similar players, I think. They can produce similar amounts of quality. I think if he can be an understudy for Naby Keita and Jurgen Klopp's side next season, maybe he'll turn into a fantastic player, which is obviously what we're all hoping for. Harry Wilson played 55 minutes at Stamford Bridge as Hull lost 4-0 to Chelsea in the FA Cup 5th round on Friday night. Even though Hull were pretty poor overall, it was probably really good for him to get experience in a game of that magnitude. Obviously, for a young player like him, going and playing, starting at Stamford Bridge in a cup game is is probably a big, massive deal for him. Unfortunately, though, he did pick up a slight injury. He won a penalty for Hull as they were already 4-0 down, which was missed by David Miley. It was some good, tricky play. I think Fabregas brings him down in the box. It was a Stonewall penalty, completely does him. However, the fall then, he took a knock to his shoulder and he had to be brought off a few minutes later. Now, I don't know whether it's just because they were 4-0 down and Nigel Adkins has thought, you know, don't want to risk this, don't want to risk furthering any injury that he's picked up, so we'll just bring him off. He has confirmed, the manager, that it's not a dislocation, so hopefully he's back on the pitch soon, but even so, we're wishing Harry Wilson a very, very speedy recovery, and hopefully, like I say, he's back playing for Hull in the near future. Ryan Kent played 90 minutes for Bristol City as they threw away a 2-0 lead to draw 2-2 with Leeds United on Sunday afternoon. Again, he was one of Bristol's bright sparks, always looks good on the ball, always pacey, always eager to try and make a difference in the game, and he showed that again on Sunday afternoon. This is where it starts to get a little bit less exciting. Divock Origi was subbed off after 69 minutes as Wolfsburg lost 2-1 at home to Bayern Munich. Robert Lewandowski scored a 91st minute winner, but more importantly, to be honest, Divock was a bit shit. He hasn't had a shot on goal in his last 249 minutes played now. It's difficult. It really doesn't look like it's working out for him properly there. I'm not sure he's showing the quality, and I'm not sure at the moment that he will have a future at Liverpool next season. From what I'm seeing of him, the clips I'm seeing of him, he doesn't seem to have come on at all. He doesn't seem to have progressed. Maybe he's working, I'm sure he's working hard all the time, but that isn't translates itself to the pitch at the moment, and I'm sure that somebody from Liverpool, one of Jurgen Klopp's minions, is watching him and is also recognising that, so it'll be interesting to see what happens to him in the summer, but we'll move on. Ovie Ejaria wasn't named in the squad for Sunderland as they lost 2-0 home to Brentford, and also to round everything off for the loans this week, Lazar Markovic still hasn't played for Anderlecht. I'm assuming he's still too fat. Move on to the youth sides, and it's more bad news, I'm afraid, as the under-23s suffered another loss, this time at home to West Ham in Premier League 2. It was another game where a lot of under-18s were promoted from Steven Gerrard's side to Neil Critchley's side. They fell behind very early on, and even though they created a lot, they couldn't really find the goal that they needed to bring themselves level. Like I say, a lot of under-18s regulars playing this one, including right-back Nico Williams, who made his debut at this level. Makes me really, really sad as a person, the fact that I'm now going to bring you a prospect report on a 16-year-old right-back who's playing for the Liverpool under-23 side, and I'm 19 myself. But here we go, prospect reports on Nico Williams. He's from Wales and he's been with Liverpool since the under-9s level. He was in high school, still in high school, when he made his debut for the under-18s in the 2016-17 season. He was previously a cam/winger, but has been converted to a right-back by academy coaches. And you know what, I've seen him play a few times this season. He's had a back injury for a lot of this season. Missed most of the first half, and Gerrard said he was missing him in the side. And now he's come back. He's made 5 appearances so far this season. He actually played in the FA Youth Cup tie against Arsenal at Anfield a few weeks back when Steven Gerrard was manager at Anfield for the first time. It's quite a big deal. And he's very good on the ball. And to be honest, I can see that he used to be a cam or a winger because he's very tricky. He's got a lot of good skills in his arsenal, really. Like I say, he has missed a lot of this season with a back injury, but Gerrard has said he's impressed with how well he's been playing since returning. And like I say, anybody that warrants a call up to the under-23 side, age 16, as a right-back, you know they're doing something right, yeah? So Steven Gerrard's side didn't play this weekend. They've still got to wait a little bit longer before trying to bounce back from that loss against Everton last weekend. But this week provides the perfect opportunity to do it. They have a huge clash at Prenton Park against Manchester United in the UEFA Youth League round of 16. It's a one-off game. They don't play it like the Champions League. It's not over 2 legs. It's a one-off. Whoever loses on the day will go out. He's been using Ben Woodburn in this side, so in the history of this competition so far, he's been using Ben Woodburn, so hopefully we'll see him. Maybe he'll add a bit of spark into this team. It's likely he'll also bring back all those players who were playing for Neil Critchley on Saturday because he'll want to field his best team against Manchester United and knock them out of the UEFA Youth League this Wednesday, so hopefully you can do that. I will tell you how that game goes next week. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of this week's Development Watch. Thank you very, very much for watching. Follow me on Twitter at bkelly776, all that usual stuff. Subscribe, like, leave a comment, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.